Chiefs rookie Felix AnudikeUzomah is making moves at Kansas City Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph. We're going to talk about that and a lot more. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into the Chiefs Report by Chat Sports. AnudikeUzomah is starting to turn some heads a little bit after a slow start to training camp. Want to shout out Ron Kopp Jr. here, who had a couple of nuggets from training camp practice over the past day or so. He says, got a much better look at Felix AnudikeUzomah today, running with the second team exclusively. One of his best reps was on an outside rush, push and pull against left tackle Wanya Morris that may have drew a holding flag and still got into the back of the pocket. He also got around Prince Tegawadagu on one of the outside rushes by swiping hands and bringing his hips through in the same motion, the sort of moves that impressed me at Kansas State. Felix AnudikeUzomah also just looped inside and forced a pressure throw in Gabbert's face. So different type of moves, different players he's going up against. So he's been working primarily with the twos through the first week and a half of training camp. But even Steve Spagnuolo, after Monday's practice, acknowledged that he's climbing. And to me, I took that as he's moving up the pecking order, right? Like he was probably working with the threes, then the twos. Could he get some reps with the ones? We'll have to wait and see here. But he's starting to turn heads, which is a good sign because he had that thumb injury where he had to have surgery, and which caused him to miss most of OTAs and minicamp. But now he's getting out there. He's healthy. He's settling in a little bit. So that's a very, very positive sign. And the question is, where exactly does he fit? I think right now he would be on that second team with Michael Dana, who's actually nicked up right now with a calf injury. But maybe he could get some reps with the ones moving forward. I definitely expect him to rotate in once the season gets here. Now, you look at his last two seasons at Kansas State, he was very good, almost 20 sacks, 25.5 tackles for loss, 8 forced fumbles. He's a smaller edge than Steve Spagnuolo is used to as a 4-3 defensive scheme defensive coordinator for KC. He likes guys who are 265, 270. He's more like 255, but I think it's a good change of pace from what they've typically had off the edge. He can give you more speed at that position. So I'm excited to see what he can do, and I think it's very positive that he's starting to make some positive steps in the right direction for this Chiefs defense. Now, predict it for us. How many sacks for Felix AnudikeUzomah in 2023? Take a guess. Give me 4.5. 4.5 for the Rook. I'd be excited with that. I think he'll be primarily a rotation pass rusher this year, but George Karlaftis rallied to get, 7.5 last year? I think AnudikeUzomah could give you 4, maybe 5 sacks. Okay, let's talk about the Nazeeh Johnson injury. He, of course, tore his ACL on Sunday, and they've already placed him on injured reserve, the Chiefs have, so he will miss the entire 2023 season. And this is really a huge bummer because we were starting to see yet another great development story for a day 3 Chiefs defensive back draft pick from Brett Veach. They found this guy in the 7th round last year. Didn't play much on defense, but was a special teams ace. Fast forward 6 months for this year's offseason and into training camp, he was rotating in with the ones in this secondary, and then he tears the ACL, which stinks. Here's Andy Reid on Nazeeh Johnson's injury. Pretty simple here. It's too bad that it happened. He's got a good attitude about it. He'll get back when he can get back. He also added later on, Coach Reid did that. He said, "Hey, just go out there and just keep it going, right? Like no worrying about what his situation is." And the good news is for the Chiefs is he likely wasn't even going to start, but the fact that he had a chance to really shows how good a shape this cornerback room actually is in. You got McDuffie and Watson, also L'Jarius Sneed, who's kind of the vet now, Josh Williams, who got a lot of reps last year, Nick Jones, who's made some plays in training camp, DiCaprio Bootle, who's been mixing it up with Travis Kelce at practice. He brings some energy. That is the good news in this. Like, if you were going to lose a player at a position, cornerback is probably one where you can take a blow if you're Kansas City, but you obviously don't want to see anybody get injured. For them, for your team, it's not good for anyone involved, but again, if you had to have it happen at a position, corner is one where you could absorb it, and hopefully, for his sake, it's early enough on in camp where he could get back for the offseason program and be full go for this time next year. Show Nazeeh Johnson some love because I was excited to see what this guy could do in the preseason, to see if these training camp practices could line up in actual games. Unfortunately, we won't get to see that. Type the 13s down in the comments right now. Show Nazeeh Johnson some love and wish him some luck as he begins his recovery. If you're a real one, you'll type 13. If you're a real one, go go get a Real One t-shirt here at Chat Sports. Chatsports.com/RealKC, our Chiefs Kingdom Edition Real One t-shirt. That link will be in the comments and in the description. Get yourself some gear for the upcoming season. If you love this show, if you love the Chiefs, get yourself a Real One t-shirt. If you're watching the show, that makes you a real one. Go pick one up today. Let's talk more about Skyy Moore, another second-year player, as he continues to stand out at camp. Now, he did stand out last year as a rookie and obviously did not have the best rookie season, but it feels different this time around. He's been around for over a year. People are starting to notice what Skyy Moore can do. Charles Goldman, credit to him for this note today, said Steve Spagnuolo asked about the team's wide receivers and says that Skyy Moore pops out now. Also added that our quarterback makes all these receivers better. Yeah, it's nice when you have number 15, right? That certainly helps quite a bit. Justin Watson, who was here last year, said Skyy has taken a huge step in this offense. So, look, it's been, 8-10 days, almost 2 weeks at Chiefs training camp, and Skyy Moore has consistently been a name that's been brought up in a positive light. I expect a major jump in these numbers. I just think he's going to play more. I think he's going to get more opportunities. It wouldn't surprise me if these numbers all doubled and then some. His targets go from 33 to 70 plus. His catches go from 22 to 40 plus yards. Hopefully gets over 500. Hopefully he finds the end zone. Obviously, this is still a position group that's very deep at this point in time, even though Kadarius Toney is injured at this moment in time. But I think Skyy Moore has a chance to really go out there and prove something, because I loved him coming out. I was surprised that he did not play better as a rookie, but he finished strong. He made plays in the playoffs, and quite frankly, I think a big jump is coming. I expect a big jump. This is a guy you took in the second round. You need him to be a factor in 2023, especially with Juju not back this year, with Toney's health, probably a season-long question mark. He's had injuries throughout his career. Skyy Moore needs to be a reliable weapon for Patrick Mahomes. He's been that in training camp. Hopefully that carries over to the regular season. I'm going to set the over-under at 600 yards for Skyy Moore in 2023. I get it. It's a big leap from last year, but I think it's achievable. Type O for over, U for under. I'm typing the O for over 600. I think Skyy Moore is poised for a big second year. Just some injury notes before we get out of here on this Chiefs segment. Michael Dana still dealing with that calf strain. He didn't practice on Monday. Jody Fortson dealing with the shoulder injury. He did not practice. Neither did Kadarius Toney, who's recovering from that knee procedure he had. Tershawn Wharton still on the PUP list, recovering from last year's ACL tear. Ty Scott, undisclosed for the wide receiver. Not sure what's going on there completely. And then Chris Jones is holding out still. Still no sign of when he's going to return. Obviously, we're on Chris Jones' watch, but those were the 6 players, in addition to, of course, Nazeeh Johnson, who's out for the year now, that did not practice today. All right, that's it for the latest Chiefs news and training camp updates. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you want more coverage, hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell. That way you never miss a Chiefs Report video.